Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Keith Andrew, and this is episode 466. I'm here with Haley and Albert, and I just want to say thank you for joining us for today.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, the honor's all mine. For people who want to know what the talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. To never give up and prove people wrong. To prove to them. Actually, I was distracted by your shirt. It's a funny shirt that you have. I'm easily distracted. I'm kind of like George Bush.
Me and you both, brother. Me and you both.
But as I was saying, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. To never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's to prove to them you can break the labels. So that being said, half hour, 37 minutes of your time. And I should buy one of those shirts. That's really funny. But with that being said, you can say anything you want, talk about whatever you want, freedom of speech, self-expression, uncensored. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourselves?
We are co-owners of a publishing company, Gladiator Publishing, and it was originally established in 1920 and recently re-established.
Our main primary basis for being in operation is to reinvent the way it's being done today. Because as of today, most authors are being either underserviced or extremely overcharged. And so we formed, Haley being an editor and me being from a publicist side, I've worked a lot with media and written a lot. We decided to put our heads together and bring in a couple others to remedy a sickness that's been it's gotten pretty out of control. It's pretty bad.
No, absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air. But you did mention that your company was established in 1920. But you guys look good for a couple of 100-year-olds.
Oh, I feel it.
It's pretty neat. The company has a really neat history and related to Albert's family. And
yeah, we go back to the Prohibition days, all the way back to Capone, and we started a month after Prohibition was legalized. So you can tell how happy we were.
Now, was your company before or after the Titanic?
Maybe it's before, wasn't it? Before? Is it before?
Well, what year was your company established? Titanic was 1912.
Oh, so it'll be after. It'll be after, 1920. I was 1920. Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
What about, did you guys ever write about the Titanic or the Great Depression? Because you were around in the 1920s. In the 1930s was a great...
I try not to write back then.
It originally started as a newspaper.
Yeah, we were a newspaper publication for the Birmingham Ledger. This is who we started off with. And then we kind of just, we did pretty well. And then eventually we kind of went dormant. And then we decided to reclaim the name and bring it back to what it originally was made for, was to provide a good service at a better price than any of the competitors, which is what we do.
Well, if you don't mind me for asking, what year did it dormant? Because you started in 1920, so you went dormant, 10, 20 years later?
Yeah, the original founders, they went until they were 60, so they went long time, actually. They went to the 1940s. Someone else picked them up and they ran with it for a little bit, but I don't think the guy knew what he was doing. 'Cause if you kind of just track the paperwork back, he really drove it into the ground. he really had a field day with it. But we were able to keep it afloat. We've never officially closed down. We were never a dissolved company. We've always been active, and so when we found out there wasn't any taxes owed, we were even happy. So I won't paint that. I changed the name. Nope.
So what year did you re-establish the company?
That's a tricky one.
Officially, the end of last year.
Yeah, the end of last year. Technically, we own two different companies. We own A.R. Kaufmann Writers, which is the imprinter. They handle our digital ends of our service because according to the ISBN, the people who make the barcodes legal on the back of the books, they pretty much are the police officers for everything literary in America. They're actually the only ones. And they said that we can't have the people who do our digital end and us be the same people. So we just bought another company, and now we're technically now we're just technically separated. And they're okay with it. So I mean, I'll take it.
All right. Now, my next question I was going to ask you, you mentioned you started off, well, it's in the family. So your family started off as a newspaper company. And I guess 100 years later, you rebought the name. Well, so what do you do with it now?
We dive more into books. Books is novelists and anything literature today. Papers, we did kind of toil with the idea of playing with it, but that's a dying art. Hate to say it, but the internet kind of stole the glory from it.
Right.
As fun as that would be, but it's it'd be fun to run a paper company, but it's the literary world needs people to look out for authors now. They need somebody who's going to stand up to the big guys. That's pretty much where we come in, because we are, as of right now, and that was officially proven yet last night, that we are the oldest functioning publishing company in American history.
All right. And my next question I was going to ask you is, how much do you charge for your services? We are 80% less than our nearest competitor, which is we found out that services being rendered by these other publishers, they're paying probably out of pocket maybe $100 at most. Now, $100, $200, depending whatever media outsource they have. Probably have somebody in house like we do, So their overhead is cheap, and they're charging these guys $16,000, $12,000, $13,000, $10,000. Our basic package is $650, I believe. And 9 times out of 10, I drop that price to however low I could possibly get it. Ask Haley, I probably eat more cost than I do anything else. If you don't need it, you're not going to pay for it. There's no reason for that, And if you were to compare that with our competitors' packages, we actually offer way more customized services, and we are literally, I think, like 1/4 of their price on their best day, on their absolute best day. And that's just one package. We run 3. And they get drastically worse for them.
There are other companies out there that have packages that are priced lower, but when you really start looking into what's offered, editing is never included.
Yeah.
And when you look, and they charge per word, so when you look at the average size of the average novel, that can run up to $8,000 just for editing services. That's included here.
Yeah, we figured that since Haley and she's in charge of our editorial teams, they don't believe that we need to go skim through a book that many times just to make the extra dollar, which 9 times out of 10, it's one time, one shot, 3 charges. That's not fair. So they love to read. It's not like they're being punished. They offer to do it. So they'll, how many times I offer to edit. They don't want me touching books.
No.
Don't make me do it. It's terrible. It's very bad. It's terrible. I would mess it up. But they're the best. They're the best in the business, hands down.
I was thinking about rewriting my book. One of my biggest mistakes was I used my brother for an inspiration, and I got jealous that he wrote a book. So I was like, well, I want to write one too. And I wrote my own book, and it was the biggest piece of shit you ever read, because my book had spelling errors, it had bad grammar. It was the worst thing I ever did for $500. Now that I have my own talk show, I have a book I can write about. But at the time, I wanted to tell my story, and I'll give you an example of how bad it was. I was working with Exuberus, and I said to him, can you proofread it? Yeah, okay. It's readable. Yes. Okay, fine. Can you just go with it? And when I got it, for an example, my mom went to Camille College. Instead of saying Camille College, it said Comedy College. and instead of Long Island, it was Longland. It's like, yes, I come from Long Land by water. The other one was, it said I was raised. It said I was rised. So like, I rised on. It was really bad. Now, if I wanted to use it as a comedy thing, that's fine. But it was kind of like, I don't know. I felt like I was more bitching and complaining because I was talking about, this is what happened in first grade, and this is what happened in second grade. And I'm not a storyteller, but I would love to work with you guys if you want to help me tell my story. But,
absolutely.
Go ahead.
We actually have some of the best content writers in the business today. We have a girl, the Pagan Princess, is what she's dubbed. It drives me nuts. But she is extremely descriptive. My sister is one of the most successful ghostwriters in America. And we try not to brag about her because she's younger than me. So we try to keep her out of it. I'm in the Library of Congress. I'm in multiple groups. And Haley's first publishing, this would be her first publishing debut. And I'm talking about the new one we're doing. This next book that we have coming out is primarily what she came with. I'm just putting it onto paper, and she did all the research. She did all the formatting, and we are already going to New York next month to have a big exhibits for it, and we got all these big name people jumping for it. I'm just putting on paper and just making it formatted so that way our systems can accept it. I didn't do any of that. None of that is my work, but I'll take all the credit.
Now, my next.
We're talented. We will.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said we'll work with anyone, and whatever you got, we'll make it gold. And if it's not already,
we can always work something out. And now, the next two questions I was going to ask you is: one, have you ever worked with people with disabilities? And also, have you ever guys thought about going to Comic-Con and presenting your work?
I want to. Oh God!
It's a dream.
She knows.
To go to Comic-Con.
She knows. I'm a Comic-Con guy.
I want to so bad.
I haven't had anything that's appropriate for Comic-Con. Nothing I write is that out there that it would captivate, because that audience is they know what they like, and they're a super niche market, and they're a hard bunch to crack to get in, and I don't have that shop. That's beyond my game, man. Those guys are good. I can't give me anything else. Anyone else? But I want Comic-Con bad. We're probably gonna go this year anyway. just to go.
Well, you have nothing to lose by applying.
Yeah. We're trying to get to the point to where we're known well enough to where we get it for free. After that, we just close the doors. Mission accomplished.
As far as disabilities, that's actually something that going in, we actually have a project planned.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty special and near and dear to our hearts. And we both have family members with autism. My daughter was born with a genetic abnormality that they don't understand, and so we've both had experiences with that and dealing with that, and that's something that's very important to us.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to really get to it because it's going to be very time consuming, and being a publisher, we're stretched very thin, and this one's going to take a lot of interviews, a lot of calling out, a lot of traveling, and which we're excited. I'm excited to do. We have everyone we need to hit, and we have everyone. So far we have. There's going to be hundreds more, but we have a good starter as to where we want to go and where we're going to go with it. Just the time management is just terrible. We don't have the time right now, but just probably by the end of this year we'll be getting to it.
But those are the stories that we want to get out there.
Yeah.
That, I think, is where this industry's really kind of lost its magic. Everything's so generic, and I think that publishers stopped caring about telling those stories that are really important and are going to really impact multiple lives. And so that's really where we want this company, I think, to go.
Yeah. And here's a fun fact about the fun fact in a fun my folly, I guess. I don't know. It pisses me off. But the writer back in the day was so looked upon as like a social leader, like a communal leader, because it was his job to change the atmosphere, the morale of the town, and he did it for free. Like this guy was not getting paid. He usually worked at blacksmithing or stable, but whatever his job was, he did it on the side for the love of literature. And that's why I don't write for any other reason other than the fact that I love what I write, and I know that someone out there will love what I write too. It may not be millions of people, it may not be Stephen King numbers or James Patterson or Oprah, but it'll be one person is enough number for me to say this is why I do what I do, and no one else thinks that way. It's a dead art. I mean, we've been kicked out of groups. Mm-hmm. Saying that we haven't been in business long enough is what the reason being why we're kicked out of a group. We weren't publishers long enough, and we explained. I told the guys, like, I've been a publisher before your company was ever a thought in any of your ancestors' lives. I was like, we cornerstoned what you do today, and we come back to do it better. And that's actually it's what we do. We do what that guy does is so much better. So he's a joke.
I think that's why we felt connected to you as well, though. What you're doing is incredible.
Yep.
I've told my daughter about it, and that's such an important thing, I think, for people to see, to be fearless. And this world's hard. You face those just nasty people that want to tear you down and stand in your way and
just because
want to see you fail. And I think the fact that you've just been so determined is incredible.
Yeah, I was actually speaking about you today to what does she work for? Oh, I'm a dick. Who is she? Well, she's one of the big 5 publishing houses. She's like the publicist. Dickens. Jenkins. But Jenkins. They are the mecca of publishing houses. They're one of the last few that still pay authors well. I mean, they follow the trend of traditional guys, but that's not we're not even in that field. But we spoke to them about you. They're excited. They're excited to see the show. And this lady's the publicist for them, and she's been their publicist for years and years since I was a publicist. We knew of her, and she now runs these big exposés, and she's the one that got me into where I'm going. And we told her she got more excited about what we were doing because of what you're doing. I was like, shit, I need to be on the show more often. That's a hell of a lot more books.
But it's really incredible.
It is.
A lot of respect.
Yeah, very impressive.
No, I appreciate it. And if it's a possibility, we should definitely work together.
Mm-hmm. Matt, we're always looking for, that's who we like to do business with is the underdog.
Yeah.
Because you get enough of underdogs together, they're no longer the underdog, and I can't think of one person that doesn't root for them. So, that right there is strength in numbers, strength in communal, that's strength in, emotion. That's, we're not facing anything like you guys face, not even remotely, like not even a little bit. But, it's a fight. regardless, it's going to be a fight for both sides. But some fights are tougher, and we have everyone's back. Even if that means break the bank, travel somewhere. We have to write a book in a week, which is what I got to do. It is what it is. I work 20-hour days. I do it because I love what I do, and we love the people that make me love what I do, and that's why that was what we do. We do it, and then we did it. Right?
Those stories are worth telling.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me for asking, when he told the person you're working with about me, what was her reaction?
We actually we don't technically work together. She runs a division that's way out of my league. I'm not even a blip on her radar. She was excited. She thought it was a great idea. She was she kept asking. We told her the only thing I didn't give her was her damn social security number. I mean, she wanted to know. She was excited. And but they're publicists. They're very shelled creatures. We keep to ourselves because we're always scared someone to steal information. The only thing I have locked on my computer is my media list. It's the only thing I keep locked on my computer. You have to have 2 different passcodes to get in. I forgot one, so that thing's gone. that's forever lost. But it's the nature of the beast. But she was excited, and I've never seen her excited ever about anything. That woman has no emotions.
Well, if you can pass her my way, I would love to work with her, or at least talk to her. But
the first chance we get, I definitely would. Definitely will. I've been working with her almost 13 years, and she's more excited you than she was with me. I was like, shit.
With that being said, I'm gonna pass before we pass the show over. I'm gonna ask you 2 last questions, and the first one is: have you ever thought about doing audiobooks? Number 1. Actually, let's make just the top 3. 1, have you ever thought about doing audiobooks? And do you have any examples of what type of books you make? Like, do you do hard copies? Do you have soft copies?
We do any form of printing, hard copy, soft copy, dust covering, special prints. All that does vary in price because when you start getting into the printers world, those guys are still very old school and very hard-working men, the press guys. And we try not to squeeze them out of too much of the cost. We'll try to hustle them down, but at the end of the day, that's expensive stuff they deal with. We do. I got one example. The only one I got left is one of my original copies of a book. It's actually holding my drinks up.
This is a poetry collection that Albert did from several years ago, and he recently published it. But we were really happy with the way it came out, and we did it in hardback and soft copy as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and as far as audiobooks, I am very good friends with the guy who does the radio out here. His name's Kevin Seidenstricker. He's an actor. He's a very he's got that voice where you can talk to me, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And he's got that it irritates me. So irritating. But we were actually talking to him about going into business with him on audiobooks. He's done a few for Amazon. He's done 6 or 7 for Amazon, I found out. And he didn't say that. He didn't mention it. I
knew that.
Yeah, you knew that. No one tells me shit. But
the story of my life.
Power of the internet.
I go on next shirt. That's the name of your book right there. No one tells me shit.
The next question I was going to ask you, then we can take a commercial break, is how do you feel about social media? Do you think social media can make you or break you?
I am up in the air about social media. The reason being is that not as many people follow social media like I do. I don't like to do my feeds unless I'm promoting something. I don't really like to talk to people on there. I have a little access key to get in the back door and kind of see what they're doing back there, kind of peek into Santa's workshop in a sense. And they don't say much about how they change their feeds and then tagging and meta tagging, SEO, and it takes one thing to kind of ruin what you've been working on forever. like Facebook changed the way their feed's going to work. They changed it February 2nd, and it doesn't affect the user. It affects the writer, the guy who's actually promoting the book. And no one said nothing. There's no articles or anything written about it. I happen to know a guy, and he told me, hey, after he told me, then the article came out, which I think he just read it first.
He's also very stubborn, but being realistic.
It can help.
In today's world, I don't think it matters what you're trying to build. I think social media is a must.
Yeah.
That's just how people connect nowadays and how they communicate. And that's the first thing they say to you is build a web presence. Get on Facebook and Twitter, and oh my gosh, there's outlets I didn't even know existed. I'd never heard of Reddit before we started this company, but I think that it is a great platform, and it makes it so easy to find those people that you want to connect with, the kind of people you want to connect with. So I think that it's an asset.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil, I would say.
Actually, we're going to take a commercial break, but we can skip over that. I'm going to pass the show over to you guys. Was there anything you wanted to know? Anything you wanted to talk about? This is your time.
That's all you.
When did you get started?
I would say officially or just in general.
Like officially.
4.5 years ago. This June will be officially 5 years.
Oh,
that is incredible.
That's insane.
But when I was...
Did you...
go ahead.
Did you always kind of know that this is somewhere you kind of wanted to go and kind of wanted to be that voice for people?
Well, pretty much I had my own talk show growing up when I was in high school. About late 2004, 05 and 06. And then I got out of school and I was like, okay, pretty much this is my high school years summed up in 4 years. Freshman year, I had my brother's friends to hang out with. Failed every class. Sophomore year, failed every class. But I was part of the audio-visual department. Junior and senior year, I bribed teachers saying, let's make a deal. If I can show you that I'm passionate and I'm really working hard, can I at least get like 65s? So I was passed with all 65s. And so that was basically my high school years summed up. Pretty much I was labeled as handicapped, mentally disturbed, retarded. I read and learn at a 5th grade level. And what broke the camel's back was the fact I used to sit with my family, and they're like, my brother, I'm the youngest, but the brother before me, he'd say, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, I don't know what I can do. And I said, what about me? And everyone stops and looks at me, so what about you? One, you're not educated, you're not qualified, you piss people off. I don't know if that's a talent or something, but I piss people off. I'm not educated. I read and learn at a 5th grade level, and I'm not qualified to do anything, and I'm going to probably be in a group home or be a burden for someone for the rest of their life. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to show you with a disability what I can accomplish. And, unofficially, still pisses me off unless I did it right the first time, but hey, we're only human. Unofficially, I did 772 interviews. Don't ask me why, it seemed like a good idea at the time. I was doing all phone interviews. And I got people from, Amazing Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Dragon Ball Z, and actors and actresses. And I was still having panic attacks. And people say, you have this great format. Why are you as big or bigger than you portray yourself to be? Why don't you have people helping you? Why don't you have sponsors? And I never used to say it to them because I'm very professional. And they're like, oh, would you like to help me with it? No, if you can't do it yourself, then it's not meant to be. And I used to hang up and I'm like, okay, thanks a lot, asshole.
Amen.
And so season 1 and season 2, this is pretty much what you saw. The reflection on the screen. It's pretty much what the camera got. And then season 2, here's the camera, and then I record what the camera got. And finally, my brother told me about, Skype recorder. And from season 3, now it's cut in half. I'm on the right, you're on the left. Or when I do double interviews, I'm in the wheel box, and you guys have the full screen. And I'm showing you over the 4.5 years, there's a transition, from the phone to the computer, from recording from the computer. And what pisses me off is when I first started, I was taking people at their word. And then they say, oh, little by little, yeah, my publicist said, my agent said, you ask a lot of stupid questions. We don't like your video quality. Can you take it down? We're going to sue you. And so now I do the permission forms. It's all like you sign the permission form. You're going to stand by it. You don't want to do a number interview? Fine, whatever. But you got to sign it. You got to stand by it. And people are little by little say, yeah, we still don't like it. Take it down. We're going to sue you. Nope. No, I'll give you an example. You signed a permission book. I have hundreds of these. You got to stand by it. And I even highlighted it. It says full use. One-time use.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, we're going to sue you. Go right ahead. Yeah, I don't make any money. You're not getting a dime from me. And I just tell them that you're picking on me because I have a disability. And it's like, okay, but you want to sue me? I want the name of the person. I want the name of the company. And I'm going to explain to them. I'm going to send them everything I have. And you're going to look like the asshole, not me. In that case, you can use it, whatever. And I'm like, then why did we do the interview in the first time? And why did he even... People think this is a joke. I want to do this till I die. This is not a joke to me. And just the fact...
following. You have a great following, man. It's electric. It's actually, I sent you that, what I just sent you is it's a link from a company that I ran into them. How the fuck I got this tip off. I think you gave it to me, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, the Artist First thing. But the Artist First.
What?
Artist First thing, the radio.
Oh, the radio show.
What I gave you is what I sent you is a link to help you set up a radio show. And what it is, they'll set you up a whole database and everything, and you actually do it out of your home. Me and a couple guys of mine are actually getting ready to do it because I'm a mixed martial artist too.
Yeah, nice.
And so I'm a huge years of bad Jesus. So since I retired, I'm still in contact with my old team, and I still write blogs for them. I got a blog floating around about them. I couldn't even tell you where there is. But so we're me and a couple of friends of mine who are avid fans. So we're gonna go over videos and the radio. And we ran into that, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is good! This is good." And kind of just put the thing aside. But I went ahead and sent it to you. Go ahead and sneak around, look at it. It's got some free offers where you can get your own radio station for free, and it'll have ways for you to optimize it and monetize it, so it actually bring revenue stream in. And we can help promote you. I have no problem helping promote you. I can put you on my website. I got 2,000-3,000 fucking websites I'm doing apparently.
Oh.
I'm always building a website. It's not a necessity. I fucked the first one up. I always fucked the first one up.
We can talk about that off the air, but I'm going to be completely honest with you while wrapping up. I'm not really a big fan of audio. When I talk to someone, I like to do this because it's more personable. And it's basically therapy for myself because it helps me with my people skills because I'm socially awkward. So this helps me interact with people. And I thought about working in this blog talk radio. Long story about that. Someone took the same name on my show. And long story. And I was kind of like, I don't want it just to be radio. I want to do, even if it is radio, I want it to be both. So I think video has more of an impact than just, if you're traveling and you want to listen to something, that's fine. But, I think video has more of an impact. But traveling, it's good.
That's a good. It's also like the way I think of it though is the same concept of audiobooks. you're getting the visual, but you're also getting the audio. Like the shows you make, re-record, send them out. It'll hit a whole new demographic. You'll jump into a whole pool you haven't been in yet, and you'll catch big. You know what I'm saying? Like people follow, especially in that area, and just do your interview like this. Do like this, and then just take the sound over and send the sound over that way. So that way you're literally just taking, your show and just bringing it to to the same entity, new production. You know what I'm saying? Same everything, just new avenue. And it's, I think I'll catch big. We'll promote the hell out. I'll promote the shit out of it. I run so many sites and manage so many people. I'll make them do whatever the hell I want. I'll make t-shirts and shit.
Well, we can always talk about it afterwards. And actually, I thought about, taking my current interviews and, like we were just saying, extract the audio and just upload the audio.
Yeah. That's. I mean, a lot of people do that already. I mean, Howard Stern, he's a good example. His TV show is, everyone watches that TV show he does where he sits there in the booth and talks. His audio is selling millions a year more than what his TV show is doing. And you're literally watching the damn thing, and then people go home and listen to it. Like, people are crazy. I'd do that. I'd listen to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know.
Wrapping up our interview segment, I do have 2 questions for you guys, and I do want to talk to you off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, are you on social media like LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram? Are you guys on any of those fun things?
Yeah, all of them.
We have, for the company, we have Twitter, and we have Facebook for the company, and then we each have our own individual Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
He has Instagram.
Company has Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't have my own.
And Reddit, and
they also have Stumbled On. It's a blog site it's good for RSS feeds. Pull from there.
But that's been kind of new to us as well. I just got Facebook about a year ago for the first time.
I just got a computer.
So it's still kind of new to us. We're still kind of feeling it out, but it's fun, and we've connected with some really great people.
Yeah, I forget I have it.
No,
absolutely. Hopefully I'm one of them.
You are.
But
and that it's hard. It's hard. We've gotten lucky, really. You reached out to us, and we've actually had a couple of authors that have been really kind.
Yeah, Vanessa.
And have reached out, Vanessa Tyview, and have offered some advice, because you don't realize how many bullies there are out there, even on social media. And, you think you should leave that in grade school, but it doesn't happen. And so those few people like you and like Vanessa that have been just so kind.
She was when I got back into I jumped back into the freelance market just to kind of just to have fun and see where I can get it. And I got bullied. I'm like, I was like, Jesus, like, I'd kick the shit. Yeah, you're mine. They bullied the hell out of me. And she actually stood up for me. And she was saying, and she emailed me, so I'll edit wherever you want for free. And she's big in Canada. I was like, Jesus. I was like, are you fucking serious?
And it's hard for people like us too, because we came out here to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to get those interviews to kind of get your name out there, and to,
yeah,
it's harder for us to get that, because we did come out of the gate and kind of
got through punches, yeah.
Called people out, and it's the same thing with you. It's when you're trying to just be yourself and be true to yourself and do something that at the end of the day you're gonna feel good about what you've done. That is a lot harder platform to stand on than to just follow the crowd. So I told my daughter about you. She's a big fan, and I know we have a lot of writers that would love to do interviews with you as well. So
I'll appreciate it. And if you guys have any banners and promotional things, I can put that on my website. But we can talk about that off the air. But the last segment for you, wrapping up your show, is when I first approached you. What was your first reaction, and what made you say yes?
I was so excited. I went to Al and I was like, this guy, I started kind of reading about you a little bit, and I said, it's amazing what he's doing. I got so excited, and he made fun of me. But it's such an incredible idea that you have, and I was so impressed.
Yeah, I actually didn't believe it at first. I was like, no. I was like, nah, he's got following. You want to talk to us? People care.
But I love those stories, and I love those people and have so much respect for those people that, you know, you've struggled and you've had those controversies, and on top of having to, you know, overcome that and just be okay yourself, you know, you're using that in a way that benefits other people too, and it's such a gift to give other people, and it's
in history they used to make fun of the town's intelligent guy, the genius of the town, and they would ridicule him and say there was something wrong with him, you know, and those guys played dumb. I mean, you read this stuff, it's crazy, and it's funny how it takes one person, you know, to stand up against the grain and say everyone is wrong. You know, Christopher Columbus. I mean, his was a complete fucking accident. You know, but at the end of the day, he did the same thing. And the whole world was like, nah, flat. He's like, nah, one guy, nah. You know, give me a boatload of criminals and we'll figure some shit out. And you know, that's what you do. You pioneer. You know what I'm saying? You're Christopher Columbus without the boat full of criminals.
And that was very clear. I mean, from the very beginning, you were just very open and very honest, and
it's good.
Don't standing up for yourself and what you stand for, and just that message. Absolutely.
Yep. Don't change. We got your back. We got your back completely. Any writer we're attached to.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would say any writer or group we're attached to, and I'm in with some groups. Yeah, I'll talk to them and see if I can get you in with them, the ISBN, DV guys, and the big old boys, pro writers.
But it's amazing, and we were really honored.
Yeah, it's great. I was excited.
Now stay tuned for Off the Show. While wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege having you guys as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, let us know whenever you want to interview.
Arlene Schofield.
My name is Shireen Snow.
My name is Carla A. Miles.
Diana Camuto.
This is Christine Dunford.
I'm me, Eden.
Caroline Macy. This is Walker Fannin.
I'm Camille Dixon.
I'm Dates Warden.
My name is Linda Presson, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.